Hello, folks. Welcome back to my Enigmarch series, where I write a puzzle based on the Enigmarch prompt for that day on video. So today's prompt is path. So let's take a name day 5 path. All right. Uh, so my first instinct is, of course, Pathfinder. My Pathfinder books being literally right next to me. Um, but probably not the best. Path. I mean, the obvious way to go about using path is to do a logic puzzle, right? There are a number of logic puzzles out there. That involve drawing a path or a loop or whatever. But I kind of want to avoid that for the moment. I kind of want. I wonder if you can. Because there's like a simple loop puzzle slash simple path puzzle. So simple loop. Oh, it does it. It helps if I actually Google. Uh, yeah. So, oh, geez. Yeah. Here we go. These are all simple loops. Um, see, the idea being that you'd have to draw. Uh, like you're connecting all of these together. I can bring this over here. Right, so you'd have to draw a line between all of these squares so that it hits everything. And simple loops are not that hard to do. Uh, that would need to go there. This now only has two options. This has to go through here, right? Like this is the general simple loop solving path. You're just like eliminating stuff like that. So, I guess I'm just gonna finish solving this while I'm at it. So you can make this a path instead of a loop by like creating like an out and an in somewhere. Like instead of having this all connected, you just have like one line here and one line there. Yeah, everything with path really keeps being towards logic puzzles. Like I'm thinking like can you make a word search path? But then it turns out to be just like a simple loop path with different constraints. Um you could do a knight's tour, but I don't like Knight's Tours puzzles. So you can do like other chess pieces. So you could have like a grid where you're following paths set up by different chess pieces, and you can have the rules have it so that like you have a pawn, you have a king, you have a queen, you have a rook, you have a bishop, you have a knight, and each one is like giving a word or something, and then you're following the paths that they took and getting. All right, let's. I Again, this is logic-y, but at least it feels different than just like a stock logic puzzle. Um, all right, so what I would like to see if I could fit three into this. So I would like things that I could clue with 2 word clues. So like Mike could be rapper's tool. Aria is from an opera. A long company song for solo voice. It is solo. Okay, so if I say opera solo, that should take care of that. And then I would want something from over here. Um, how many letters is this total? Let's get rid of this. I was like trying to do a Ray formula stuff. It's just easier if I just delete that. Len concatenate those three. All right. No, I don't care about that. So 20 total. So I still have plenty of room for my other 2 words. Okay. Like actress Swinton. Yeah, Swinton. Okay. So it's 34 and 6 is 40. So I'm covering over a little more than half of a chessboard. And then what I can do is say, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. Uh, I can have this chessboard, the correct size, yeah. So we can have the pieces start in places, and then we can have we can just cross out squares where they can't go. So if we have, let's just go get chess pieces right now. We'll stick these at their starting spaces. Okay, I know what I'm doing already to start. This is going to be silly. Okay, so the first move is going to be Kingside Castle. Oh, this is Tilda. All right. Okay, so my okay. So these are all my possible ones. Um, so I am going to if I do one, two, three, four, five, I'm gonna make the pawn the opera. This right hand side. Um, so then we can do OPERA, and now it's spelling opera there. Let's get some GH. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So the pawn goes e4, e5, e takes f6, f7, f8. All right. The king and the rook castle. So one thing we can do is we can say that each piece, all six pieces move at the same time if they still have moves remaining. And no square can be entered twice. So let's do. I mean, the king is either going to be tool or solo. I think. Let's do as tool. So then T goes here, and now the king has to go to one of these three spaces because it can't go here or here. And so what if we So if we cross off spaces that aren't used, the king now has to go here. Like I want to make sure that like they are the pieces are at least colliding into each other sometimes, so it's not an issue. I mean, I could do. And the question is like that doesn't have uniqueness, but one of them has a word and one of them has an English word and one of them doesn't. We can go there. And this will hopefully confuse a little bit with the rook. Because we can make the rook like start to go into here. Like it can go up, over, down, over. Yeah. In that case, we do want neither of these to be spaces that are available. So Odasho, King H2, King G3, King F3. Okay. All right. So the rook is going to show up in F1. Let's make rook actress. I wonder if we could do the. Well, okay, so I mean that this forces an A here. I wonder if we can do like we can make this look like the pawn goes up one space, but actually the bishop needs to go there so we can get it A7. And part of the trick is like it's hard to get it A7 any other way. Oh, I just thought about what if the reason why when some of them start and some of them stop is because they got captured. Oh, but we would need them to end in specific letters. Okay, I think I know what the rest of these I want to be. I want the queen to be solo. I want the queen to be like have to do some very precise moves. I want the bishop to be rappers, and I want the knight to be Swinton. Yeah, if we have the bishop RAPP, if I and like S, like something like that. Like I guess we run into the problem of loops again because we're on this diagonal. Oh, but we're gonna be on that diagonal now. Like I think it's actually just really hard to not let this be a loop. Yeah. Okay. That's possible. Bishop E3. But I'm kind of just vibing right now and then seeing where things get me, right? Like what can I logically constrain if I do this? This is very much me, I don't know, being weird with it. So the queen can't go in this direction and it can't go to the side. So it has to go this way or up. You can make it do like a that, and then across, and then that, and then over. Is that actually that might be crossing this E? I think is actually a problem. Because on the third move, the pawn moves there. To capture there, huh? So we go here, we go here, and then we go to here. I guess the problem is then we were talking about a7 being hard to get at. Or we could just go all the way down, and then on the second move end up here, and on the third move end up there, and on the fourth move end up here. Makes like a little bow and arrow tool. Maybe. Let's see what that looks like. O. I have so many O's over here. L O. So that's Queen D8, Queen H4, Queen A4, Queen C6. Okay. We do have this potential thing going on, so, something to be careful about. All right, what have we got for the knight? So the knight doesn't want to go here because it's in the queen's way, so it wants to go here. So this is our S, knight B3. From there, I don't want to make it go here because we've already got enough with that A, so here is actually here is fine because then I can go here. Oh, but we're gonna have on the third move, 1, 2, yeah, we're gonna have trouble. Ooh, we may have boxed ourselves in with this knight a little bit too much. So then we go here. And then we go down. And then here. And I think we're out of everybody's way at this point. At this point, it's just the bishop, and we're not even on the right color to mess with the bishop at the moment. So we start from here. We go to W, I, N. So knight B3, knight C4, knight D2, knight B3. Okay, can we go here? That is, I need. So getting to this T is the same point where it's getting to the E. So no, I can't go here. So I have to do that. I've basically forced this knight to like jump around. O N is like what I've forced to do. Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm not against being forced to do things. So knight A5, knight G7, knight C5. That's V5. Okay, so then for the rook, you already have one here. Let's go up to rook F5. So now we're here. Yeah, T-O-O-O and T-O-O-R should all be Rook G4. No, actually, we're gonna jump down to here. We don't have much on the 7th rank yet. Okay, we're gonna have to check this, and I'll show you how we're gonna check to make sure that none of these collide with each other. At this point, only the bishop and the knight are moving, and the bishop is moving from E to S. So it's moving from no, it's moving from E to R, B4 to C3. Yeah, so I'm fine up here. So we can do an S here. And then we can go S here, rook H5. Okay. So then theoretically, all of these are not any spaces. They can be gone over, but they aren't they don't have anything on them. So on turn 1, the pawn moves to here. I guess we'll color this with a green. The king moves here and the rook moves here. Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay, we'll give these different colors just to keep track of. The queen is moving down to here. The bishop is the bishop going to e3 when the pawn's going to e4 kind of violates what we were just saying we were doing. Oh, crap. Crap, crap, crap. Yeah, in fact, the only place this bishop can go now is this S. All right, we need to back up. We need to back up. All right. So a couple of these we can put back in, actually. The king is fine. The first part, this bishop needs to change. The pawn is still going to do its thing. Of course, it's going to be e4 there. That's e4. P-E-R-A. Oh, one thing I didn't consider is like this pawn blocking things. So we really need to make 7 more chessboards after each move has happened. Okay. Yeah, we need to make 7 more chessboards and think about what happened. See, this is when puzzle hunting gets or when puzzle writing gets really interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, great. Uh, so I'm going to color things in black, anything that has been used previously. Uh, but we'll leave the piece there so we can tell what it was. then it takes here. Oh, actually, we can copy and paste this down. I'm just going to fill in the black parts there. I foresee a lot of copying and pasting in my future. Okay. Okay. Oh, and the king has moved to here. And then this king has we also should keep track of what spaces. So, like, this space here needs to be open. Otherwise, this puzzle doesn't work. Okay, so now this goes here and gets the black. And then uh, this goes here and this gets the black. Okay. Okay. So now this is good to keep in mind because this king is going to be blocking things from here on out. Okay. So this bishop can't go here or anywhere past, which means it's got 3 spaces. All right. I'm just going to cross out a lot of this because we're going to have to refigure it out. So that's where we're starting with. I do want this to have a letter eventually, but it can't be right now. This is oh wait. I haven't done the pawn correctly. This should be here. E5. Um, I just realized the copy pasting now is going to stop. Uh, okay. So then from here, from E5, this becomes E takes F6. And this becomes filled in black. This is F7. This is F8 equals something. So then these two are colored in black. Oops. These 3 are colored in black. And then this is the board that the other turn 6 and turn 7 see as things that are taking up space. Okay. All right, so this bishop is almost certainly going to A3 at this point. So that's going to require this space open. Aha, got the copy pasting work. Okay. Now this queen. What'd be interesting is if we like force a knight to d2 somehow. Like if we say, okay, so this is interesting. So if we say knight to b3 or knight to c3, like if c3 doesn't exist, right, then the knight has two options of a3 and d2. We also don't want these to exist. Let's make these a light yellow. We say we know we don't want these spaces to exist. Okay. Yeah, so if we yellow out c3 for a second, now the knight either has b3 or d2, and then the bishop also is like stuck with those places. I guess the bishop could possibly go to b2, and the knight could go to a3 with just the queen out. So I think we also have to have b2 be yellow in order for this to work. Yeah, in that way it forces the queen. The queen can't go this direction, so the queen has to go out here. I'm sure there's more efficient ways of doing this, but this is what we're gonna do. Okay. So then this is gonna force knight to there. And then it forces the queen to go out this way. Let's just say here for now. Those have to be free, although we know they are going to be, and then these two are black. So this is knight to d2 and queen a4. I guess I could have waited to do that. Okay, cool. All right, so that's all the pieces. So now we have e5 has happened as a thing. The king has moved up here as a thing. So the knight is running out of places to be because it can't be here. It's got like here and here and here as places to go. The bishop needs to go off in this direction. And we haven't moved the. We need to move the rook a second time. Well, so here's the problem: the knight can't go to f3 because if it did so, it would block this rook in, right? Because there's not going to be anything on f2, and then the rook literally has nowhere to go. So the knight can't go to f3. So we're left with b3 and c4. I wonder, we originally had the bishop taking care of e3, but maybe we have the knight take care of it. Yeah, we could have like the knight do like B3 A1 C2 E3 and have like the queen, the bishop and the rook mess around with like what's going on down there and like the knight just stays back here. Like we do need something to take care of A1. So another thing to keep in mind is that we could have so the pawn capture. I don't know. I'm kind of fine with just abstracting the pawn capture away. Um, it's also technically it could be an en passant. This is going from the fifth to the sixth rank. And oh, I could say it's an en passant, and then say both special moves in chess are used because we use castling. All right. Well, I've solved a problem. And you could say like you may assume that black pieces exist with at the right times in order to use two special moves because you have to assume that black pieces exist for the purpose of en passant. And you have to also assume that they're not checking the king, uh, checking the space, attacking the space the king would go to, or attacking the space in between for castling. Okay, I kind of like doing this like knight like bouncing around back underneath here. So I'm gonna see what that looks like. It's a thing that we can undo if we need to. It's knight b3, knight a1, knight c2, knight e3. All right. All right. So then we'll color the spaces that they've been to. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. And then we can. Oops. Nope. I messed up that thing, but okay. So then we just color all of these in as black. And I'm just gonna. I know you can't see it, but I know it's wrong, so I'm gonna fix it. All right. So we have two more places to put the knight after here, and we don't actually like. This is gonna be interesting because the knight doesn't have. Well, actually, it does have a ton of spaces to go. Oops. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. One thing I would love is if this space. You know what? I'm gonna mark this space as yellow. I think that's gonna force a lot of things. If C4 is yellow, C4 doesn't have a letter on it from here, because then actually that forces B3, which is gonna force a lot of this, I think. So that'll be good for logic wise. All right. Now we've got the pieces that get each other's way. We can do like queen to e8 because e8 is not getting used. And we have to say not use these three spaces, but that's happening. The alternate is we can move the queen to a8. I like a8 because it also. Oh no. Yeah, a8 gives us freedom with the bishop. I was like, wait, that's the same color square. It's not the same color square. Yeah, and then we can do the queen on like this diagonal then, which then yeah, it really like frees us up with the bishop. So we do queen to a8. Uh, and then these all are green. And then queen to d5. And then these are green and these are black. These are going to be black. I mean, this one's going to be black in a second. Um, so I don't know. I just moved diagonally. I kind of want to move it like a rook. Let's say to h5. I don't know. I'm just kind of making an arbitrary choice and assuming that the later logic will sort it out, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Those need to be open. Okay, and so that is where they stay. And all those spaces can be blacked out. All right, great. And that's the queen done. So now the bishop kind of wants to play around like down here-ish. Like I do want to be flipping diagonals on the bishop a lot. Oh, interesting. We just took care of d5, so now this knight only has two places to go here. And if we do rook h5 up here, like we were thinking about, right, we now suddenly have those need to be green. This actually yellow overrides green with our notation system here. So now rook, not h5, f5. That's how chess works. Yeah. So then, obviously, it's going to move off of there in a little bit. Doop, 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 doop. So now that this knight went to e3, now it only has one space to go, it's g4. And now this knight once again only has one space to go. and that's h6. Oops. Okay, all right. We're moving right along. We're moving right along. I like this. Okay. I have no. Okay, so this rook is actually running into a bit of a problem now. It needs to get out of this space. It needs to leave, and the pawn, it's actually being blocked by a lot. Oh wow. I did not consider this. I mean, maybe it just moves back to f4. What's the rook word? Actress, and it would be ATC. Okay. And actually, moving it to here is still unique because it needs to be back here when the queen moves over. Okay, it's you don't get to do that much, but the uniqueness constraint will allow that. Okay. Delete. Not. It's not a formatting thing. No, that rook is fine. Okay. This rook had a thing. It now no longer does. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Technically, that rook stays there. That's how we've been notating things. Okay. All right. So after rook f4, we have to go sideways. Um, if we're gonna run into some issues. Yeah, actually, we don't want to go to g4. And if we go this way, we're gonna quickly trap ourselves. I think if we make the bishop go to b4, we can force the rook to go to d4. Oh yeah, queen's going to d5. Yeah, so we can force the rook to go to if we say now that this is bishop b4. If we force the bishop to go to b4, now, yeah, so now this rook right here, oh no, rook just moved to f4. This rook is now, yeah, forced to go to d4. That's great. Which is also great because it forces the knight now, right? Like we wanted the knight to go to e3 anyway. It now really forces the knight to go to e3. Oh, this should be black. Also, this I think has a border on it. No, this one. Huh. Wonder why. I guess maybe just because this has text in it and the other one doesn't. All right. I mean, it does. It has a pawn instead of a knight. Okay. All right. So then this is rook d4, rook d4, rook d4. Fill this in black. All right. So what is this bishop doing? This bishop just came from a3, so it probably wants to go to a5. given that's the only thing it can do on that diagonal. Oh. Okay. All right. So now we have this turn. Oh, the rook is moved to d4 in this turn. So if the bishop goes all the way to d8 this turn, then it just means we can't move the rook all the way to d8, which is fine, honestly. We can move like the rook to d7 or something. Um, Also, I don't really want the bishop on d8 because if the bishop's on d8, then like it's only going here, right? We don't want to go here. Next turn, there is a problem because there's nowhere it can go. Here, the only interesting place it can go is h6. And I think we run out of turns. Well, I guess we could go. Oh no. Yeah, it's problems. So the bishop might be going to c7 at this point. Yeah. Yeah, let's look at bishop c7. So from there, we've got to make three more moves. One, two, and like three, maybe. Yeah, let's assume that. So this space had to be open this turn. And then we go bishop b8. And then bishop a7. And then bishop c5. And that space has to be open this turn. Okay, all we got left to do is the rook now. So the rook moves to d4 here. So from here, yeah, I think we go to rook d7. That's just going to be more interesting at this point. Or actually, maybe d6? Yeah, I think we actually do d6, and the reason for this is because otherwise d6 isn't doing much as a, or the sixth rank isn't doing much as a rank. Okay, so then from here, I like going to e6 only because then we can go down here. That is not rook e6. There we go. And then from there to rook e8. Okay. All right. So let's just gather all of the things here. Bishop a3, knight d2, queen a4, e5, knight b3. Oh, I didn't write the king moves down, but we have them. Knight b3, queen a8, Rook f5, bishop b4, uh, knight a1, queen d5, rook f4, bishop a5, knight c2, queen h5, rook d4, bishop c7, knight e3, bishop b8, rook d6, knight g4, bishop a7, rook e6, knight h6, bishop c5, and rook e8. Okay, so let's just put all of these. Let's put all these spaces on here now. So the bishop is going to a3. There's an R. b4 is an a5 is a P, c7 is another P, b8 is an E, a7 is an R, and c5 is an S. Okay. That one's technically not unique. I don't know if I have much of a choice though. Yeah, the bishop is running out of spaces. Can't go in this direction because the knight's forcing it. Yeah, I mean c5 continues to be. Maybe I just leave it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about it. Queen a4, S. Queen a8, O. Queen d5, L. Queen h5, O. Rook f5 is the C. Rook f4 is the T. Rook d4 is the R. Rook d6 is the E. Rook e6 is the S, and Rook d8 is the e8 is the S. Okay, so then we have Knight d2 is our S. Knight b3 is our W. Knight a1 is our I. Knight c2 is our N. Knight e3 is our T. Knight g4 is our O. And knight h6 is our N. Okay, so now our puzzle looks like this. Like, I think you figure out the pawn one right away. And then I don't see, like, the king has to go to the right. And if you assume that there's a word, you get tool pretty much immediately. I think this is fine. I think that this is a relatively straightforward chess puzzle. I say relatively straightforward as we're looking at a board filled with yellow squares, letters, and chess pieces, but you know. Okay. Like when you go to solve this, right? Just taking a look, like it's often good to step through your puzzles, right? So like this pawn is gonna, like, you pretty clearly see the opera, and then the king to tool like crosses off all of that, right? So you have all of that, and then like you can kind of see actress in here. Like, yeah, the fact is, like, we were doing some like logical things, but in the end, like solvers are going to have the fact that they're looking for words. Yeah, I imagine what's going to happen is that someone's going to do those and then find, like, they know that this rook has to go here and then it has to go to either C or T. And so from there they're looking for 7-letter words and are likely to find actress. Cross that off. And now they've got these. And the knight now is like heavily restricted. Well, not yet. You get the S and the W. Like, it's possible that you just see the TON here and start to work backwards. This is one where I'd be really interested in seeing what happens when test solvers go through it. I think it's not that hard. I mean, it helps that like I know the answer to the rook one is actress, and so it pops out for me. But also, like, I had trouble like seeing other 7-letter words. Like, what do you have? ATO takes you nowhere. ATR, a trophy, or atrophy. Like, I don't see ATA, ATS. Like, it looks like AC needs to be it, and then yeah, I just think it's. All right, I mean, this will be an interesting one for playtesting. All right, so what does this puzzle look like? So the first thing is that we need to set this up. Path. Chess pieces take interesting paths across the board. Sure. All right. Let's just get a text box. All right. So the rules. Um, each piece moves simultaneously. If a piece, oh god, um, if a piece would, uh, sorry, pieces cannot block each other's movements. No, um, sorry, pieces block each other. How do I want to phrase this? Like, one piece is any piece, any square one piece moves through blocks all other pieces for that round. As knights jump, they do not block any intermediate squares. Second, pieces must land on a square with a letter, and each space must be visited exactly once. When a piece is done moving, it doesn't leave the board. But yeah. Assume black has their pieces in the correct places to do any special moves. I think those are all the rules I need. All right. Let's go. Let's edit it. Sure. I have no clue if this is okay to use, but these look like fairly standard board emojis. Like these look like fairly standard set pieces. Yeah, I mean these are actually these are like the standard board chess piece stuff. Yeah, let's I think I'm okay to just do this. It looks like it's even built off of chess.js. All right. Yeah, the king goes there, the rook goes there, the knight goes there, the bishop goes there, the queen goes there, and the pawn goes there. That is the easy part. There's no way it's gonna let me write on this. Oh, screenshot. Uh, nice. Okay. All right. So now we need to put some letters on here. And I'm just going to pull this over to here for a second so I can copy it on. So we need uh shoot. All right. So this is going to be an O. And we need this to do a couple things. First of all, yeah, we're going to put this so it takes up one square of the board. This way, when I center it, it is centered correctly. Okay, now we can make this bigger. 28. I like it. Okay. S A, yeah. Okay. R P. Right now, I'm just copying them over to the spaces they are, and then we'll edit them in a moment, one step at a time. This goes here. This goes here. This goes here. This goes here. I can see already. We might have to go to all of these and just say, hey, maybe don't do anything based on. Oh, is it gonna make me do every single one of them for wrapping? Oh, maybe it is just in line and it's like some sort of weird effect. This one is not in line. All right, maybe it is just fine. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Rank 4, 2 blank 4. 2 blank 4 in a row. Oh, hey, that went perfect. Okay, and then 2 blank blank 3. And then the 2 before the pawn, and then the 1 on top of the rook. Could I be saying square coordinates? Yes, I absolutely could. Wow, that's just way off. Okay. However, have you considered that I don't want to say them? All right. Well, we'll see how things look in a moment. Like, there's definitely some problems. I probably should have set some guides, but whatever. Okay. So this is an E. This is an S. This is an A. This is an R. This is a P. This is an R. This is an E. So if I were not doing this in a PDF, if instead I was doing this on a website, one of the nice things about the internet is the resources it provides. You could, there is a JavaScript library called chess.js, um, which I would 100% implement this in. It wouldn't have like really any features except moving the pieces around, but it allowed me to it allows solvers to move the pieces around, which is really nice. Oh, this doesn't need to be there. Um, and if you want to take a look at what that can do, you could take a look at the stuff I had for. I've done this before for what's that puzzle called? It's the chess Masu puzzle. How to mate or something. I'm now blanking on the name of it, which is very unlike me. How to make the right move. Okay, this one. If I move this over slightly, yeah, there we go. Okay, there's still okay. This is just not scooched over. This also appears to be not scooched over. This now, I think that wasn't a problem at all. This needs to be scooched over. And let's just turn off these things for it. This needs to be scooched over, and this needs to have none turned on. Maybe it is fine. I mean, it might just be the chessboard's white and or beige and brown squares that are causing it to look like it's bad. What I really like is that this almost has all the letters of answer right here, which is going to cause problems, um, in good ways. Okay, and so now I need the chess pieces. Um, oh, I'm like looking for my web browser. It's because I put it on the other screen. How do I want to go about doing this? I probably am just going to set up a text box. So the only thing I need to do is now is relate the pieces to which crossword clue they're in and their lengths. So go back here. Oh, you posted a table, didn't you? Where are you? Yeah. And Calibri's not doing nice on the Unicode. Okay. Hate that. Uh, yeah. Why are we having so much trouble rendering this bishop? Jeez. Okay. Oh, you're gonna make me. All right. I see what the problem is. It's trying to copy it all over in Calibri, and we just need to turn it all into Arial afterwards. Okay. Okay. So, nope. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's going to probably be better if I make it bigger, but horizontally aligned. All right, we'll deal with that in a second. Wrappers tool is 6 4. This is Opera Solo is 5 4, and Rook Knight is 7 7. Okay, yeah, we're 100% going to make this one line, but bigger with some space in between. We're also going to change this back to Calibri so it matches everything else. Uh, Calibri, Calibri. Okay. Could I possibly pick a more interesting font? Yes, absolutely. I can hear Justin Ladia yelling at me, but I'm not going to. And now we can stick 3, 4, 5, 6. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll stick another 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. All right. Um. Yeah. So this. Let's see. Before I forget, this is one that would be interesting to see people solve. I think that there are some people who would solve this immediately, or at least solve it within like a couple minutes, and some people who this would be like a half hour or 45-minute puzzle. Um, there is a much harder version of this puzzle that tries to use the constraints to constrain it more and makes the rook and the queen and the bishop do all sorts of weird things, and tries to put a letter in every square. Um, like I did a puzzle like this for Baffle, that did that. It was a little different because it was uh, a pawn, a knight, and a bishop on a shoots and ladders board. But yeah, yeah. I mean, this was the construction of this was a little vibes based. Um, for what it turned out to be a logic puzzle, kind of. But hopefully, yeah. If you're looking to see me set a Masu, that's not happening. So, all right. Well, if you liked this, please check out the rest of the series. You can see there's a playlist on my profile with all the 2026 Enigmarch stuff. Um, I also, if you're watching this recently, I just posted a video where I'm solving some more of the Quantum Online Puzzle Hunt. You should check that out. But otherwise, if you like this video, give it a like. If you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to subscribe, and I will see you next time.